Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Shines. Right now I'm showing you some level 40 Ayaka clips and we're just seeing how she does when I first tried her out. Uh, Initially, I had put level 90 Jade Cutter on her and a full Cryo set, I believe, and it was doing pretty nice numbers. Like from level 80 to level 40, you can see that she doubled her damage. And then this is her in the team comp that I feel like is most ideal if you can't freeze the enemy. Rosaria, Sucrose, so we're insert animal character, and Diona for heals. So if you can freeze them, you can probably take out, let's say Diona in this team comp, and then, but you kind of lack a healer, so hopefully in the future could fill that role, and yeah. But for now, I see like this team comp, having double Favonius is really nice, and double Cryo Particles. As you'll see in the clip, we're able to get our ult back almost like back to back by funneling all the particles to Ayaka. And you can see her hitting pretty hard with Blackcliff. She's on a full crowd set, and I believe I showed the stats of that. We like an animal character here just for the debuff, and debuffing the cryo and make her hit harder. As you can see, priorly she was hitting around 8k, and now she's hitting 11k on her ult after the Viridescent Veneer shred. So even Animal Maid Traveler can work for her, so she's pretty free to play friendly, I would say. You can pick up the Blackcliff for free. You can pick up, you can use Animal Traveler and slap a Viridescent on him, and it'll just work. If you were summoning on Kazuha and you missed him, but you got Rosaria, she works very well with the Favonius. And you can kind of see, like, I used her ult there, and we're just gonna funnel all the particles right back to her from double Favonius, and Sucrose's skill particles as well, and boom, we're back up and we're able to ult right again, and we almost one cycle him. You see we're doing around 13k. And the reason I like Rosaria here is for the crit sharing. So later on you'll see I have a bit of a more nutty build of a 300% crit damage on her, but I have like 15 rate, so I need as much crit rate as possible, because the cryo set doesn't just give you everything you need. Like if you go too low in crit rate, you're going to need some more. So Rosaria's crit share plus the frozen enemies, and double crowd resonance, I'm able to actually get quite a decent amount of crit rate from it. But yeah, you can see the kind of number she's doing right there. And I know a lot of people might look at it and be like, well, Rosaria and Jincho were doing a lot of damage there too, so I wanted to show her on the single boss just how much damage she's taking. And we're gonna also do the legendary 4 Ruin Guards boss, and there we can kind of, I'm gonna nerf Rosaria and Jincho as much as possible, and by nerf I mean take off artifacts and put them on level 1 weapons, and you'll just see the raw cryo damage that just Ayaka is doing with her Blackcliff, and pre-kills on it, because this one's R5, so I know some people are like, well, R5 Blackcliff, but I'm not going to get any kills on it just yet. As you saw, we're at 290 right now. We can go to 230, but that's going to include an Ascension, of which later in the video I'll show her Ascension, and then all the way to 90. So 80 out of 80 compared to like 80 out of 90, and we'll kind of see how that looks like. And in that one, we'll probably use Mist Splitter just so you can see the top end damage that C0 can do if she has a weapon as well, from 80 to 90. But here we go, we're gonna just have Sucrose there. I was gonna shred with Sucrose, but then some people are like, oh, that's not really fair or whatever, so I just said, all right, no shred, just her damage, not even crit sharing with Rosaria, just applying cryo with Rosaria, and we're gonna just dodge with Sucrose and things like that. I'm even going to take off the crit rate helmet, because maybe that'll be a little unfair as well, I don't know. But we're going to take off everything off everybody, and it's just going to be purely her damage. So there we go. If I nerf them hard enough, maybe the constellations won't matter as much, or how invested they are, but probably someone will still complain like, no, they're still too strong just because they're constellated. No, I don't know. But, you know, let's see. And if that's not the case, please let me know. Then I won't have to, you know, nerf my characters and could just use them as is. Just to kind of show you how a well-built team can look like. But yeah, this is just all like Ayaka's damage with minute parts. Like you can see my Shincho's doing 200 and my Rosaria's doing like 300 at most from what I can see. But yeah, you can see I got most of them down. If I did use Sucrose to shred, then I would have done a lot more damage. But we're just doing pure Ayaka damage from there, just pure Ayaka cryo damage. So you can see after I got a kill, how much her skill is doing. I got 2 kills on her, I believe, so you can kind of see it ramps up quite a bit. So I guess if you really do like sword users, you could say the Blacklists are worth it. But I think the new Inazuma sword is going to be also really good on her, especially at R5. That thing's nuts for her ER and things like that. But you can see she does really, really well just with, you know, the Blackcliff and, yeah, and not even equipped supports. So once you put into supports, they do quite a bit of damage. She has 888 talents, and if you were lucky, like, or you would say as hard as Envy did and got both Kazuha and Ayaka, then this is kind of like a team I built around her, where it's Tenacity of the Millith, Barbara with Thrilling Tales, Iron Sting Kazuha, and just Festering Desire Benny for the ER. So if you have like a 5-star weapon, you can slap a 5-star sword, you can slap that on Benny and then get more attack and get more of a boost in this showcase. But yeah, we're just using Kazuha without any millennial movement or whatever. Just hit him on a full EM build. And then I have, you know, use Benny Boy, Tenacity of Millith, and Thrilling Tales, and you can kind of see, boom, 16,000 damage, just like that. Okay, and so up next we're gonna do a bit of a comparison where I plan to do an 80 out of 80 comparison of 80 out of 80 Ayaka with a level 90 Blackcliff versus a level 80 out of 80 Ayaka with a level 80 Mist Splitter, not ascended either. Then we're just going to do a comparison with a level 80 Ayaka with a level 90 weapon, because I see a lot of times, you know, people don't see the value in raising up the weapon from 80 to 90, but unlike a character, I see that the most difference is from 80 to 90 weapon, and we'll showcase that while we're at it here. So level 80 Mist Splitter versus a level 90 Mist Splitter. You may say, oh, it's just 4 extra crit damage and a couple of extra base attack, but you'll see the difference in numbers from the comparison. Then we'll do a level 90 Ayaka with a level 90 Blackcliff and a level 90 Ayaka with a level 90 Mist Splitter. So you can just kind of see the values and how they change from Mists, you know, from 80 out of 80 character with a 90 weapon and a 90 character from that point, just for relative sake. And you can see the differences yourself and see if they're worth it for you or whatever. I just want to showcase it, and if you see them as more valuable, then sure, great, and things like that. Additionally, this is the team I like running the most with her, especially because of how low the crit rate on this build is. I have an attack cup with the Mist Splitter because I mathed it out and it does more damage overall. Though with the low crit rate, I do need some crit sharing and double cryo resonance and constantly to make sure that they're frozen. So a lot of conditions have to be kept for me to be able to use this current build. But yeah, as you saw in the title as well, we're going to show it's about this 300% crit damage Ayaka, and when all of the buffs are up, 15% from cryo resonance, she's at 30. But when they're frozen, she's at 70, and Rosaria giving her 10%, she's at 80. So she's more like 8,300 when all the conditions are met. So that's why I kind of need a lot of ER on my Rosaria, because I need her ult to be synced up with Ayaka's, because if she doesn't have that crit sharing, it's kind of annoying. But I do like it because Rosaria and both, even though Ayaka has such a great amount of cryo application, just kind of making sure that like they don't get free from the freeze. Like let's say if I have to dodge or I have to reposition, Rosaria can cover that hole in there as well. And I love the repositioning that Rosaria's skill does, because that for me is really nice for a melee character like Rosaria. The ability to reposition right behind your enemy and do a bit of setup and freeze them and things like that. So Rosaria for me has been really good support for Ayaka. I used to run Rosaria main DPS, which is why you'll see her talents are her autos are 8, because I would run her with Chung Yun and Shincho and do freeze comps like that. But now having Ayaka, it's really nice because she kind of fills that role while I still am able to use Rosaria's. And if you don't have Rosaria, maybe you wouldn't go as hard as this. If you can get maybe like 10% more crit rates, that would be better for this build, because as you can see, I have way too little crit rate without Rosaria. Well, it goes to 70, so it's not as bad, 7,300, but you know. So there we go, level 90. It's always a satisfying leveling of the weapon for me, just seeing that, you know, and just because the difference in damage for me is pretty nice, and it was worth it. It really is some of the most resin efficient things is to level 90 your weapon, so I always appreciate that. This time I used all of the stacks of the Mist Splitter, do just one light into an ult, and you can kind of see how deadly that was, 12k. Yeah, so just going through, finishing off the boss. You're seeing 7k 3 times, so that's like a 21k charge attack, so that's pretty nasty, and just almost I believe it hits just as hard as the skill. So that's pretty cool too, and it doesn't take up too much stamina because of her passives and stuff like that. So I, you know, that's one way I see like Ayaka is so much better to me than Kaching. It's one that this kind of crazy crit rate, crit damage build is possible on her. You can run Cryo set on Kaching, but goodness gracious, since Superconduct is a bit of a yikes outside of physical teams, I would obviously not recommend that in any way. But yeah, I've been waiting quite a bit to level 90 her. I wanted to make sure that I captured it on film, so everyone else gets that satisfaction of seeing the character level up. Because for me, I love leveling characters. Yes, as you see my roster, that's always one of my favorite parts of Genshin, is just leveling them up. But that aside, yeah, we can find, so like this, the title suggests and the thumbnail suggests, here is a 300% crit damage Ayaka. And not on some, this is the first time I've been able to get 300%, and it wasn't on, I didn't have to just put mismatched pieces. Like, this is actually a set bonus, so that's pretty cool. I would have loved if there was more crit rate, but you can't have everything. Probably if I had some crit rate on my circlet, but I'm kind of getting my ER from that, so it's a little bit of a, you know, it's a give and take, I guess. But if I do end up getting some crit rate on that, this build will be a lot better. At least if I can get 10%, which is extremely difficult, but if I can get 10% on with the ER, maybe I'm asking a little too much, but with some ER as well, then yeah, this build will be complete for me. But yeah, it's definitely, as you can see, the numbers are pretty nice. This is with Blackcliff, 90 Blackcliff, 90 Ayaka, with 300% crit damage. So you can kind of see, so just basically, up until I killed that guy over there, free to play, because the Blackcliff without kills is the same as R1. But now we're going to move on to Mist Splitter, so over 300%. Man, that would probably been even a cooler title, over 300% crit damage Ayaka, or whatever, but who cares? It's the same deal. yeah, we're gonna see just a miss splitter on her, a miss splitter on level 90 Ayaka, and see the difference. This is what all stacks up, so nice 13k 20 times over. Wow, so that guy just got deleted. That's about 260k damage. So in Abyss, their health is like 2x, 2.5x, so that would have been 50%, and then you would have to kind of do what I'm doing now, kind of get all your particles back on all your characters, feed them to Ayaka, and then just start your rotation again, with all your energy back. That's why I love Favonius Lance on Rosaria's, because it really helps out with your energy rotations. And I'm so happy Mihoyo also gave her so many particles for her skill, so she doesn't even feel like an 80 burst character like Eula does, because Eula only has like 1 or 2 particles, but goodness gracious. But as you can see, yeah, it was really, really nice playing, and she's really fun to play. And for all the people who came to this point in the video, here's a little treat. Me leveling, going through the domain, trying to see if I can get a full ER set for Ayaka. And you guys get to see me level up this nice crit rate, crit damage piece and see how that went. Yep, that's how it went. Yep. Lovely.